Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So as long promised, I'm going to show you my picks from the Chanel holiday collection because I ended up buying quite a lot in the end, much more than I expected to. So let's get right in. I'll look at what I've bought and why, what I've used and what I think so far. Although I warn you in advance, I think because there are so many items, I may talk in a bit more detail about one or two of them in a separate video. So first thing to note is that some of this collection, the lipsticks, have the holiday red packaging, which to be frank is the most seasonal thing about this collection, because overall it's just what you would call nice winter colours. There's nothing that's particularly screams holiday in the way some of the other collections, notably Guerlain, to a lesser extent. Well, no, I think the Dior one as well is very obviously holiday. This is just quite a sophisticated winter collection, but they have gone for the red packaging on the lipsticks. There are 4 lipsticks, 2 Rouge Allure and 2 Rouge Allure Velvet, which is usually my preferred texture in Chanel lipsticks. I didn't think I was going to buy any of the lipsticks because all of them are red and all of them are fairly bright red. And whilst I do like a red lip and I do recognise it's absolutely classic Chanel, I have probably more, well, I have more than enough red lipsticks, including Chanel red lipsticks, to last me forever. But of course, I couldn't resist getting one of the packaging, which is very stunning. I went for number 4 in the end, which is a Rouge Allure texture. This was the most orangey of the reds. You know, they're all fairly daring. You know, some bluer toned than others. I decided to go for a fairly orangey red, which is the most flattering for me, I think. And it's a nice shiny texture. I haven't really worn this yet. I've just admired it and Instagrammed it the way we all do these days. It is stunning packaging. I should say from the outset, the big item that is missing from what I bought is the blush. And I mention that now because that is also a very startling, almost neon orange shade. I have looked at it, tested it. It's very, very pigmented. I know a lot of people love it who I've seen on YouTube. I didn't intend to get it at the outset. I thought it would be far too pigmented for me, not really my colour. I tried it and I thought, well, it's so unusual, so, you know, out of the ballpark for Chanel in particular, I will get it. And in fact, having tested it, they told me at Selfridges it was sold out. And that does seem to be the item that has sold in a couple of the places I've looked. I also bought some of the things I've got in France last week, and they'd sold out of the blush as far as I could tell. So if you want that, you need to get down to your local counter, I would suggest, pretty promptish. I bought several of the eye products. Just quickly, you know that I love the Stylo Yeux. I wasn't going to buy this year's, which is Legendary Green, because Chanel has done a couple of greens recently in last summer's, not this summer gone, previous summer's collection and autumn. We had Oasis and Pacific Green. I knew Pacific Green was different, but I thought Oasis was probably quite similar. So here we've got this year's. You can see it's a very blackened green indeed, the Legendary Green. So quite different, I would suggest, and particularly on the eyes from last year's Oasis, which I wear quite a lot. I was wearing this yesterday, actually, with the eye palette. I preferred something that showed more green than this year's Legendary Green one. And here's Pacific Green. Was that last summer or the year before? I can't remember. There we go, a much more kind of bluey grey green. So they are all quite different, as you can see. And you might like this year's Legendary Green if you know, like a dark eye with just a greenish tint. It does go very well with the palette, although, as I say, I prefer last year's one. The Stilo Yeux are fantastic, soft, lasting pencils if you prefer a pencil liner, which I do. The other basic eye product I bought is what used to be called Illusion d'Ombre. They're now called Ombre Premiere. They've changed the packaging and they've changed the formula. They've changed the packaging. Here's the old Illusion d'Ombre, roughly the same size. Don't know if it's the same amount of product. Can I even see? 4 grams. Yeah, there's still the same amount of product, but you can see we've gone gold as opposed to the old packaging. That might just be a holiday thing, I don't know. This is Silver Screen, another product that people raved about on the internet. You saw it, and I must say I like it. What's different about the formulation? It doesn't feel that much different when you dip your finger in, although you'll notice straight away it's kind of slooshed around the sides, and is a slightly more creamy formula, although it goes on very much in the old way. Here's what the problem was with the old formula, much as it's loved. This is my favourite one, Dear Passant, from a few years ago. However firmly you shut the lid on these, over time, sometimes very quickly, they do that. They kind of shrink from the edges and dry out. This one, Dear Passant, is still usable because it's, you know, nice and soft still. But they do kind of pull away from the edges and dry up. I think they've tried and changed the formula to stop that happening. So, I mean, going back to Silver Screen, Silver Screen's a bit misleading because, as you can see, it's, I would say, a very dull, burnished gold. Not really the taupe that people have said. I do like it very much, and the formula seems very nice on the eye. I've worn it on its own and as a base for the shadows, which is what I normally do. And the formula doesn't feel that different on the eye from the old one. I thought I would just mention New Moon because I've seen YouTubers comparing or bloggers comparing, and I really don't think they're anything like each other. Obviously, New Moon, much more glittery, much more bronzy, pinky bronze, actually much less pigmented and more definitely party look when you apply it. So I think Silver Screen, if you like the Illusion or liked the Illusion d'Ombre formulations, is probably a must-have because it is a nice everyday well pigmented eye cream and they do perform well. I do think they're worth the money, and there's something special about the Chanel ones and the Tom Ford creams. I think they're the two kind of outstanding pot formulas for eye products. They're quite different, but they're both excellent in their own way. I also bought a mascara, the seasonal mascara. You know, if you watch my channel, I love Le Volume de Chanel, along with Victoria Beckham's mascara, New Discovery. Le Volume is the only one that really works for me. I'm not going to open this because I haven't used it yet. I don't want it to dry out, but you can see it's kind of browny red, a bit like the one they did last fall, actually. Not the one just gone, but the one before. But I always buy the seasonal ones and keep them. I bought 3 of the nail polishes. Initially, only this one, Neon, which I've got on my toes at the moment. It is a real neon orangey coral. If you are a collector, the nearest I could find was Lilas from quite a few years back, but definitely more creamy, less neon. One of my all-time favourite summer toe polishes is Holiday, which you can see is, again, less neon, more burnt. I do still prefer Holiday, but this is very nice if you like a bright, pinky, orangey coral. I went back for these two. I initially didn't get Fiction, which is a very dark green I'm wearing at the moment. quite badly applied because I did it last thing at night and I smudged. I thought it was too, from memory, similar to Emerald, but in fact, Emerald is much lighter with the gold micro sheen in it. This is a real hunter green, which if you like more vampy shades is actually easier to wear than some of the really pretty azure type greens that are very popular at the moment, featuring in a lot of the nail polish collections, notably the Dior one, which is absolutely gorgeous in the bottle. And very startling on the hands, but I'm not sure it suits a lot of people, and it's not really very work appropriate. This one, being kind of just darker, kind of feels more universal. And then this black is Celebrity. I haven't worn this one yet, and I haven't got a wheel to try it out on. I'm thinking that it's got a purplish undertone, although it looks very black. I put it next to, there's this, yeah, black satin, which doesn't seem to have the same purpley look, but who knows till I get it on the fingers. I haven't had a chance to try that now. There's also a bright red Rouge Puissant, which I was sure I had and was a re-release, although the number on it suggested not. And when I've looked in my Chanel drawers, I have so many Chanel polishes, I can't find Rouge Puissant, so maybe I imagined that, or maybe I just didn't get it last time, so haven't got that. Then the centrepiece of the collection is the eye palette, Quint, Traite de Caractère this time. You will have seen this. Again, I thought long and hard before getting it because it's had some bad reviews. Two satin colours. How are we going to do this? A gold and a more taupey. Now they don't swatch, as you can see, very well. There's fallout, they're hardly showing. Then there's two not satins. I'm not doing very well here. Dark bark brown and a much more reddy brown. Swatch a little bit better, but not brilliant. And then the green. There you go, a blackened green. Now, I did succumb in the end, partly because it isn't a typical holiday palette. It's something you would use more often. And I am enjoying it. I have worn it. It does perform better on the eyes, I think, than it swatches on the hand. It's funny that sometimes things perform well on the hand, less well on the eyes. I'm particularly liking this green, which performs as a true green on the eyes. And by that I mean so many greens actually become muddy or don't wear well. This one does wear well. Would I recommend getting it? Only in limited circumstances. I think if you're a real Chanel lover or collector, you're going to get it. If you want that well-performing green, you might get it. I did say to somebody who was talking about on my Instagram getting their first Chanel palette, don't make it this one because I don't think it's representative of the best of Chanel. There are other better options for your first. So it's a limited thumbs up in relation to that from me. But I'm going to talk about this palette, I think, in more detail in a separate video because I've gone on for more than long enough already with what I've got. Keen to hear what you guys have got, and until next time, bye for now.